Hello and welcome to the Dublin Arsenal podcast. It's Monday the 17th of April. I'm your host as always, Jonathan Giles. I'm joined this week by my regular guest throughout this season, Eamonn Donnelly. How are you, pal?
Evening, Jonathan. Evening, Craig. Evening, Lotttie there. I'm doing my chicken stew there. We've got the recipe off a tin of candles there. You make it with Daniel O'Donnell soup there. Thick country vegetable. How are you getting on? All right.
Not too bad. Surviving this horrific run of results. I'd like to welcome back Craig Smith. His new nickname is Mr. Meltdown. How are you, Craig?
All good. How are you keeping?
Yeah, I see a few grey hairs since the last time you were on.
That's it, yeah.
Too much drinking. I know
That's
you're
it.
I'm also joined by the podcast host of Vic Acres Wonderland, Charlotte Brown. How are you, Charlotte?
I'm good. I'm just, I'm existing. I'm waiting for the women's football to come back. That's usually better days for me. I'm not even joking. I'm serious.
Let's hope we won't go into meltdown altogether tonight.
Well, after the news I got this morning, I did go into meltdown, but yeah.
Well, let's hope the next 40 to 50 minutes we can enjoy. You can catch our show on YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. As always, check out our sister show, Beyond the Last Man with Martin Stumble. I'm not too sure when his next episode is, so I know it was the previous shows are up on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel, so check them out there. Check out our sponsor, Balon Sports Direct, for their range of footy gear. Check out our friends over at justarsenal.com. Papa McLaughlin and Co are doing a great job there. And check out the Dublin Arsenal Supporters Club bar, the River Bar, in Dublin City Centre is rocking on match days with our recent form. Last week's stats, lads. 87 views, 7 likes, and we're up to 2,970 subscribers. That's up 10 on last week, so we're getting near the 3,000 mark. So thanks to everyone that listens in week in, week out, on the big screen or not. Just happy with the progress. Thanks to Matthew J. Staunton for leaving a comment. He seems to be a weekly viewer of the show, so thanks again. And
A colleague of mine.
there's
He's a colleague. Yeah.
I knew Eamon was another person. I'd like to thank Alex Hassan Hutton, probably Martin, I reckon. He says Alex Manninger would have Stummo, he actually quit one of our WhatsApp groups, so I hope he's all right. So thanks to him. Thanks to everyone that please leave your comments, anything good or bad that we can enhance the show or improve, and please feel free to leave it in the comment box. Any feedback is welcome. On this week's show, we'll be reviewing our 2-2 draw yesterday away to Westham, previewing Friday night's fixture against Southampton, which is live on Sky Sports at 8 p.m. And also going through the official clock and coin by Xana Coins. It looks a classy coin as well, so some nice memorabilia to buy. So we'll be going through that at the end of the show as well, giving you the link, etc. We go into the review of yesterday's match 2-2. Benrahma penalty and Balon scored for West Ham. Jesus and Odegaard scored in the first 10 minutes for us, and Saka, of course, missed the penalty after half time, disappointingly enough. There was good main talking points, really, what I've taken down. Good movement by Partey and Odegaard for the Jesus goal after 7 minutes. Thought it was really well worked and wide crossing for Jesus. Really nice, tidy finish. A beautiful cross from Martinelli, I think we'll agree, for Odegaard second. Took it really well straight through Fabianski's legs, which was nice. And I thought after that start, I thought we would have went on maybe for the juggler and put another 2 or 3 passing, but just like at Anfield, I don't know what to say, just complacency maybe, going ahead so early away from home. I think Saliba and Zinchenko were a big loss yesterday. I think holding. He done okay yesterday, but he's definitely no Salave. You know, you can see Gabriel. It's not a great defensive partnership. Poor play by Party to allow Rice to close him down. You put the ball into Paqueta, and then Gabriel was sliding in silly. You know, Paqueta made the most of it, to be honest. And in fairness, Benrahma, he never really misses penalties for Westham. He scored at the Emirates back in December against us as well. So that made it nervy. Going into half time, it was 2-1 at that stage. Then Antonio handled for Martinelli, and I thought Saka would have put it away, but that was a pressure penalty. You know, I think, you know, you could see him. He looked a bit, you know, I better put this away. And then, look, these things happen. He's had a great season, so I can't really condemn the lad, you know, and I hope his head doesn't go down. But I'm sure this week, I think Arteta will work on him, you know, and I think he'll be fine for Southampton on Friday. The second goal for West Ham was Kerr lofted the ball into the box and was well taken by Jared Bowen. Poor Markin really haven't known on him, but these things happen. Ramsey got a hand to it, but just didn't have enough to tap it away. And then really, it was really Antonio's header against the crossbar, really, and that was. We didn't really have many more opportunities. As Eamon said before I come to you, Eamon, we kind of went into meltdown on our WhatsApp group. You know, it's another point gained in the title. Look, we're in a position which I think it's a false position. We never thought that we'd be in this position now. If you were asked to ask any Arsenal fan this time last season, just to qualify for the Champions League has been an achievement. I'm sure that was the objective from the start of the season. So it's a point gained in my eyes, and we'll have to go to the Etihad. And we knew we had to get something from it, and we really need something from it now. But I'll go to Eamon. What was your view on yesterday's match, Eamon?
Okay, well, look, I mean, I've no problem with people going into meltdown. It's very disappointing. No, it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing, but I just find all of that stuff, that knee-jerk reaction, is not good for anybody's mental health. You know, and I find that I mean, Craig and I were chatting on the thread yesterday. Absolutely, everybody is entitled to an opinion. Remember, opinions are like arseholes. Everybody has one. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, and my opinion.
It's always good nature name as well. I don't mean anything by it, you know.
No. Wait. No, I'm going to compliment you here now. My opinion is not any more valid than anybody else's. I think it is because it's my opinion. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it there, Bill. You know. But everybody's entitled to an opinion. Well, let's just get down to. I just find that there's a lot of negative stuff going around for a team that's won 7 games and 2 draws in the last 9, and I think that's probably not unfair on the team because the team were terrible yesterday, right? Yeah. I think it's more to do with probably over expectation of where we are, because I'm not making excuses. We're way ahead of where we thought we'd be, and the team we have, it's still in its development and evolution, and it still has a lot of learning to do. That's the first point. So anybody who comes on and thinks, oh, well, we bottled it, or we did this, or we did that, that team is still learning, right? And I think the manager's comments after the game, if you heard his full interview, more or less kind of captured that. You know, in other words, we went and we played glorious football. We got 2 ahead. Then we kind of went safe, you know, and we didn't, as he put it, and he was annoyed. He was really, really annoyed. We didn't understand what we needed to do next, right? And the one consolation from it all is sometimes when a team goes on a bit of a sticky, nervy run, they can't buy a goal. We still have the armour. The 2 goals that we crafted were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, we still have the armour. But I just think that we kind of got into a almost freeze mode. Well, this is done now. We better stop playing. And as Mickey himself said, we start trying to play around them when our strength is actually playing through the lines. All of that interchange and Ben White, Saka playing through the lines. So I was disappointed from that point of view. But there's still a lot of learning in the team. But I think the big lesson from this is And it's a saying that we had in Gaelic football when I played for Ballymun Kickups for all those years. If you're on top of a team, stand on their throats. Someday they'll do it to you. They'll stand on your throat. Always stand on the throat. And in Gaelic football, the reason why Dublin won 6 All-Ireland finals in a row was because they learned how to stand on teams' throats. And we didn't do that yesterday. And we were guilty of that yesterday. And I fully accept that. I think, and I think the manager captured that in his analysis. And also the way we defended the boxes was terrible. But don't underestimate the loss of Saliba.
Yeah.
Rob Holding, as an individual, probably didn't do a whole lot wrong. But as a unit, defensively, for the second goal, it was like Z-cars. We came out in a zigzag. The whole, if you look at the shape of the way the defence pushed out, it was in a zigzag. When Saliba's there, that doesn't happen. Yeah. It just doesn't happen. Because Rob doesn't trust his pace, he doesn't get out quick enough, and he's afraid of the spaces in behind him. And what he's trying to do is play to his own strengths. But don't underestimate the loss of Saliba. And don't underestimate what the loss of Saliba does to Ramsdale, what it does to Partey, what it does to the players receiving the ball. I was very disappointed with Martin Odegaard yesterday. I really was, Yeah. I mean, there's a guy now who I love, a great player for us, really top player. I hope he stays with us a long time. But as a captain, he went into flick and kick mode. Thomas Partey went into flick and kick mode. Thomas Partey, for the first West Ham goal, ordinarily wouldn't have tried to flick that over Declan Rice. He would have got on the ball and tried to get turned. And he didn't do that. And that just shows you that, we were probably, maybe we were enjoying it a bit too much. And that is a lesson that needs to be learned. And I think it will be learned. Just on the penalty, Fabianski, was a very studious goalkeeper. He saves more penalties than any other goalkeeper. And I think what happened with that penalty, Saka normally goes down that side. Fabianski had him studied. And I'd imagine what happened if in Saka's vision, he saw Fabianski going the right way. Then you've got to make a split-second decision. Are you going to change your mind, which they tell you never do, right? Yeah. And I think he tried to overcook it because he knew the goalkeeper was going the right way. Because whatever about having it saved, I've never seen Saka miss the target.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a couple of more things. Like for all those younger folk, and the likes of yourself, Craig, who have nothing but the utmost respect, a real football man. No, a real football guy. I've travelled the games with you, who knows your stuff inside out. But I take you back to '89, right? And Liverpool were just as a formidable force in '89 as Man City are now. We went up there and we did the business. But don't forget what happened before that. We had that League One. But in the 2 home games before the Liverpool game, we drew 2-2 with Wimbledon. And we lost 2-1 at home to Derby, who got relegated. These, so it's a young team with a bit of pressure on it. But that's how we got to having to win 2-0 at Anfield that time. And can you imagine the reaction nowadays? If we drew at home to Wimbledon and lost 2-1 at home to Derby. And that's the point I'm trying to make. This is a young team still learning. Yeah. We made a harlocks of it yesterday. It was terrible. A terrible position to end up from where we started. But look, as I said, in many ways it makes a small enough difference because we were always going to have to go to the Etihad and get something with the way the goal difference is anyway. And look, very disappointing. As Mr. Barlow would say, so frustrating, Deja. But as Dave O'Leary would say, just get on with it. There you go. That's my take on it anyway.
Who stood out for you, Eamonn, for your man of the match yesterday?
I mean, look,
it's hard to call.
You could say Martinelli kept doing what he does, and he had a big hand in the 2 goals. But again, I thought Ben White was my choice for our best player.
Yeah, it's the way he gets down the wing, isn't it? Like, he's great link-up player, isn't he?
He's non-stop. He's relentless,
Yeah, he's some fitness to that, hasn't he? Yeah, he's very athletic, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, he's
just if I go on to the others, Jonathan, he comes off the pitch every game absolutely emptied.
Yeah.
Absolutely emptied.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's a hidden gem. Yeah, he really is. Yeah, bargain signing, yeah. Craig, thanks for coming back on this week.
Cheers, pal. Sorry about last week. It's crazy with work.
Yeah, no worries, Craig. Look, these things happen. How did you find the game yesterday, Craig? I know you had a bit of a wobble on our thread, so steady head tonight. How did you see it?
Yeah. No, look, as Eamonn said, like, we're all going to have different opinions, you know, and I respect his opinion as much as we own, you know, and all of us we're all going to have different opinions, so
yeah,
each to our own, and it's always good natured. We all love the Arsenal, and, you know, we get frustrated. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
And you know, look, maybe the frustration with the younger fans is Eamonn. I think maybe we haven't really seen the team win a league, you know.
Yeah.
You probably have, you know, and maybe that's why we're more frustrated than the older, you know, fans. Whether it's right or wrong now, you know, but it's because we crave it so much. I think maybe that's why we get so downbeat and, you know, disheartened about it. But look, in terms of the game, the first 15-20 minutes couldn't have went better. We started brilliant, you know. I don't even think he scored the first goal. It was Jesus, wasn't it?
Jesus, yeah, 7 minutes, yeah.
And then the second one was Mark.
Odegaard,
Odegaard, sorry. Yeah, great cross by Martinelli for Odegaard to score. When we went 2-0 up, I was actually thinking, you know, let's get 5 or 6 here and get the goal difference down, because, you know, West Ham are nowhere to be seen. I know Eamonn touched. I don't know what happened, to be honest with you, in the game in terms of how they came back, because I don't know. I don't get all this. I agree with Eamonn. I don't get this stuff that we're bottling it. They're a very young team. I think maybe we got a bit complacent. You know, the leaders in the team probably didn't bring us through that game. The likes of Odegaard, Partey, well, they're the ones you're kind of looking at to drag you through these games and get to the results, and they were nowhere to be seen. I think after 20 minutes, it's probably the worst game I've seen Thomas Partey play for us. What Partey was doing for the first West Ham goal, where the penalty was, I don't know. You know, doing a flick at the edge of his box. I don't know whether it was. I don't know whether he thought he had no option, or was he just trying to, you know, show off. But doing that in a match, never mind training, is disgraceful. You know, and look, I've been Thomas Partey's biggest fan. You know, he's an amazing player, probably up there with probably player of the season for us, because he's just that good for us. And if we miss him, you know, you definitely see it. But yeah, what he did for the first goal, you know, it wasn't good enough. I agree with Eamonn there big time. We really miss Saliba, you know, like, what I think Saliba's 19, 20 years of age. You know, what a calm influence and composed centre back he is. Look, Rob Holding, he's a 4th choice centre half for us. We're just lucky to have Tomiyasu's injury at the time that it is now. But, you know, look, I like Rob Holding. I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but he should be nowhere near the Arsenal squad now. You know, he gave us a good few years there, especially the FA Cup final. You know, they played well together, but I think we're kind of gone past Holding at this stage. I know you need to have squad players and that, but I think we've kind of gone past Rob Holding's level. If Rob Holding leaves Arsenal, he'd probably go on to a Leeds or a Wolves, someone that's fighting relegation. So, you know, and best luck to him if he does go on somewhere. But I think the game against that, like Eamonn said, Holding has done absolutely nothing wrong. He's a decent defender, but the way Saliba breaks the lines and plays the passes into the forwards, it gets us going.
Yeah, out together. Yeah.
You know, like Rob Holding yesterday was hoofing the ball. I think 4 or 5 times I seen him try to get a ball into the Sackett and Martinelli, and it was just going over them. And it was just so frustrating, Deirdre, as Eamonn would say.
I like that, the way you got it.
I can't believe you said that.
I'm not even put on the voice, Craig.
I'm listening to you too much, Eamonn. But no, look, it was a very frustrating game. I think after 15 minutes we didn't play. Why that is, I don't know. I don't think we're bottling it. I just think we thought the game was over. I think the Anfield game the week beforehand was a totally different game. You know, Liverpool are always going to come back and attack you.
Yeah.
And look, they scored 2 goals. We could have lost that game 5-2. The West Ham game, I don't really have any answers for it. It just makes this game Friday against Southampton huge. They're bottom of the league. They're going to be fighting for points. I know we'll probably touch on the Southampton game later on, but it just, we have no room for complacency now. Do I think the league is still there to be won? Look, obviously, I think I said yesterday that I think it's probably over now. I probably do think it's over, but look, it's not over till the fact that ladies things. We're still 4 points ahead. They have a game in the hand. We need to get a result at the Etihad. But with that game against City, the Etihad, you know, if you have Rob Holden playing and Saliba's not back, I think that makes the game even harder than it's going to be. And, you know, I think the club, I don't know how bad Saliba's injury is now or if he's progressing, but I think the club need to do everything they can in their power to get him back or give him an injection to get him back for that game, because I just don't like the thoughts of Grealish, Haaland, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, you know, running that Rob Holden. I'm sorry, but it kind of gives me
Craig, just on that point, Craig.
Yeah.
Would you think that they're trying to wrap Saliba in cotton wool for that game? There's a bit of noise about he's not out for the season and all that, you know.
You know what? There's mixed reports. I think, like, you know, Twitter rumors. You know, like I've seen somewhere today that he's not back till the Forest game, and then I've seen somewhere today that they're going to give him a one half on Friday and then play him next week. But you know, he's out for 4 weeks now. Back injuries, they can be kind of Well, you know, if I had to bet in the now, Eamon, I think they will play him next week. I think they have to. If you lose that game, the league isn't over, but 99% likely they're going to go on to win it then. But I think after the City game, there's 5 games left, maybe 6 games. I think you have to play him. You have to give him an injection and see how he gets on. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you know?
It's a big game to come back to, It's a huge game when you're facing Haaland and Co. Even at 100%, yeah, it's a big call, that one, yeah.
Yeah, but I just think in terms of yesterday's game, we thought the game was over 2-0. We thought it was going to be 5 or 6, and a few players, you know, they were on the beach, I think, after 20 minutes.
Yeah, and every team now, we've 31 played now, 7 to go, and in those 7 teams that we've left, every one of them have something to fight for now, and that's just the unfortunate situation we're in. You know, every team will be going out to get something themselves now. Either they're in relegation or fighting for Europe. You know, so yeah, every game is a cup final now, isn't it? In every sense of the word.
Can you ask us all a question?
Yeah.
One word answer. Next week, if Saliba isn't fit, do you put White centre half and play Partey right back and put Jorginho in? Johnny?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Eamon?
I'd be inclined to, yeah.
Yeah.
Lottie?
Probably.
That's a donation by everyone for the Dublin nurses.
I think that's suggested today. You know, if Saliba isn't fit, I think you nearly go with it, because if you get a draw to get you're still in it, you know.
Yeah, I think Ben White would be good as a centre back in that game. Yeah.
Johnny, before you go on to Lottie, Craig, if I was doing that, I'd do it on Friday night.
Yeah, I agree.
Ben White hasn't played there all season, you know.
Yeah. No, he hasn't. No, yeah.
But just in terms of Saliba, I think if Saliba doesn't play on Friday, do you think they'll just throw him in next week still?
I think he's good enough.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that if you were going to do that Thomas Partey at right full experiment, I wouldn't do it at the Etihad. I'd do it at Southampton, the home game first. You know.
But he's played there plenty of times for Atletico, didn't he? You know, so it's not a new position for him.
Yeah,
but it's more to do with Ben White playing centre half. Craig. He hasn't done that all season. You know.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an experiment to try out Friday, all right. Who stood out for you, Craig, as your man of the match yesterday?
Man of the match, I would probably go with Jesus, because I think for the first 25 to 30 minutes he was unplayable.
Yeah, he had a bit about him actually in the game, hadn't he? He let a fight in him. I thought he was the only player that showed a bit of desire.
he had the swagger back. I was kind of like, I was sort of surprised he came off.
Yeah,
managed him, you know, but
Mm.
I was surprised he came off and we needed a goal.
I think because he was on the yellow as well, he might have been afraid that he might get wound up, you know. I think because he is a fiery character, you know. But yeah, probably Martinelli would probably be a close second to my man of the match. Yeah. Lottie, welcome back to the show. As I said to you earlier, waiting a while to get in. How did you find the match yesterday, Lottie?
Do you know what? We were fine for the first 20 minutes, and then the VAR team gave away that soft penalty. I don't care what anyone says. Declan Rice handballed that ball before the whistle was blown. There's screenshots all over social media. That penalty should not have been given. Full stop. They need to go back and look at those rules, because being 2-0 down, you get an opportunity for a penalty. That is gonna, if you look at it from West Ham's point of view, you're gonna get that opportunity. So, we're in this. Get one back. We're in this.
Yeah.
So, and that's exactly what happened, and we ended up drawing. As soon as that second goal went in, we kind of crumbled. The boys completely lost their heads. I did feel they were a bit too overconfident. Okay, we're running this game, but they just completely threw it away for me. I am disappointed with them, but as soon as that missed penalty came in, I sat there and thought, I'm not going on social media. I knew exactly what was going to happen. No, do you know what? You can be upset with them, but you don't go after our players personally or racially. It's unacceptable. If you do that, you're not an Arsenal fan. Yeah. Not an Arsenal fan. You're not even a sports fan. We don't want you in our sport. End of story. Yeah. When I opened some of my social media today, it's still going round, and I'm like, can you, like, the picture? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the picture of Saka, absolutely disgusting. No one, can you just imagine what that will do to him mentally? Although he's knocked his confidence again under that amount of pressure, can you imagine what it's done to him on that personal level?
Yeah, because they're human beings as well, aren't they? At the end of the day, it's
exactly. I mean, there's even someone on there like being proud that they've been blocked by Rob Holding. You know what? Yes, we haven't had a clean sheet since he's been there, but we've got no other. Who else is going to play there at this point?
Exactly.
Who's going to play there?
In fairness,
Holding
knows his limits.
In the middle.
Yeah, he gives
it. He knows his limits, and not a lot of people will own that.
Yeah,
and I think that's one thing we do need to appreciate about him, because he's that half reliable sort of squad player. Because on his day, he does have his good games. I mean, look at when he first came back Leeds last season. He had a phenomenal game. He just had his hair transplant. Absolutely different player. Absolutely different player. But he's had some stinkers. We've had no clean sheets since he's been there. Yeah. But who else are you going to put there? I'm not too keen on Craig's idea, I'm afraid, with Thomas at Party right back. Unfortunately, I just wish Tomiyasu wasn't injured, because then we'd have no problems.
Yeah, it's a big loss. Yeah. Who stood out for you yesterday, Lottie?
Oh, sorry, Jonathan, say that again.
Sorry, who stood out for you for your man of the match yesterday?
Oh gosh, I was going to choose someone different, but Craig needs mine, so I'm going to go with Jesus. Yeah. It's just nice to have him back. I kind of cringe when I see Eddie on the pitch. He's missed so many sitters this season, and I can't watch him when he shoots. So I'm going to give it to Jesus. It's just nice to have him back. And he was absolutely brilliant for the first half hour, and he was everywhere throughout that game. Even him dropping back to help up the defence was great. Did enjoy that.
Yeah, when he got back at Antonio for the yellow card, it shows his desire, doesn't it? I wish every player had that determination, and that. Yeah, he's an all-round player aside from his goal scoring.
Jonathan, can I just come back to a point that Lottie made there? Brilliant point about social media. I could have asked you what social media, Lottie, but I didn't. The point I'm going to make is you're dead right. What you get in social media is these buffoons who are keyboard warriors, and I can tell you, they wouldn't fight sleep. They wouldn't box eggs for all their bravery on the keyboard. They're brave behind the keyboard, right? They've never played the game to any decent level, and then they troll people as if the people that are playing for the Arsenal or any other team, and I include some of the teams that we hate in that, right? The game is played by human beings. Okay, they're well paid. But nobody deserves to be abused because of their race, their sexuality, their beliefs, whatever. This is a game of football, right? So, do you know what? And the Arsenal, by the way, is probably the best club for promoting diversity in the community and all of that. And I'll tell you what, anybody who does that type of stuff on social media, well, I hope they never darken the door of our stadium, because our stadium is a great place to be. Everybody feels at home, no matter what persuasion you are. Everybody feels at home in that stadium, And I think you made a really, really good point there. I hadn't thought of that, but I hadn't seen the stuff. But, these people, keyboard warriors, stand in front of me, and I say that metaphorically. If you want to hurt him or you want to hurt me first, and see how good you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, these are people like all of us here. They're going about their job, and we wouldn't like it if we were picked on. The Jordan they're doing their job.
It's schoolyard bully stuff.
It is. It's bullying on another level, digging into you as well. Because like mentally, regardless of what you earn, people have mental issues. I'm sure the players are on the pitch and they've got 100 things going on in their head as well. We just never see that. We just see a lavishly played player, and we think we can do what they like to them on.
Imagine all of us what it's like being a player. I suppose the only thing I can equate it to is I play in a music band, and when you play a gig, it's a fantastic buzz. No, the buzz is fantastic.
Yeah, it's
in front of the crowd. The next day, mentally, you feel very flat. So can you imagine what it's like playing in front of 60,000 people and all of that palaver that's going on? And then the next day, these people are ordinary boys and women playing the game. Yeah. Ordinary boys and women playing the game. Yeah. They happen to be very good at it, and they get paid. So what? Yeah. That's the job they do. Yeah. That gives nobody any right to try and strip them of their humanity and decency. It
is disgusting. And when it comes from your own fans as well, it's even worse. Yeah.
Well, I'd question that now. I'd question what type of fans these are. I'd say
classic fans.
They'd have a better home now on the Muppet Show in the 1970s. That's probably where they belong.
Yeah, no, it is. Well, it was a great point you made, Lottie. Yeah. Let's hope.
I do have a question though. If these the fans, the same ones that've got tickets for Wolves, are you going to be selling your tickets? Yeah. That is my question. You don't deserve to go. There's plenty of other fans that want to go and they can't get tickets.
Yeah, the classic fan brigade, sadly, yeah. They jump on the bandwagon when we're doing well. It's easy when we're not doing well to throw abuse, isn't it? I'm sure these fans, when we were winning, were shouting these players' names high up, Yeah, how fickle these fans, but there's no place for any of that. And
but by the way, just on the Bukayo Saka thing, I don't think it'll take a feather out of him.
No, I don't know.
He's that good. He's that good,
Yeah.
He's come back from lows, has he?
Anything, it will drive him on. I mean, look how far he's come since the Euros. I think that's the most important thing.
He's only a boy then, Lottie,
Yeah, exactly. He's a man now.
Exactly.
Man, isn't he?
I mean, West Ham are the only London team to actually score against us away from home.
Yeah.
Which is really irritating because we almost had all the London teams in the bag, but obviously not.
Yeah. The worst thing was listening to Carragher yesterday. Ugh. I don't think West Ham will come back from this when we went 2 up, and I just knew the commentators' course they'll come back.
I sat there through that game thinking, no, please shut up. I just want to listen to Seb.
Yeah. I thought it was refreshing as well. When Saka missed the penalty, Jesus went straight up to him and says, head up, let's go. It's great to see players getting behind you.
I mean, he did end up taking another shot during that game, which was great.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And look, he's a man now, and he's a superstar player, as Eamonn said, over the last few weeks, and he is a superstar. So I'm sure he'll bounce back on Friday night with a goal or two.
One thing I forgot to say, though, it's amazing how you can go from hero to zero. I thought Ramsdale was very poor for the second goal. I don't think he's that great on his left-hand side.
Yeah.
That ball was kicked into the ground.
Yeah.
I think his hand should have been better on it, Definitely.
Yeah, he seems weak, doesn't he? When he gets his hand up, yeah, he seems a bit weaker.
On
That's
his left-hand side, he needs to work on that left hand.
Yeah,
On his right-hand side, which was the side that he saved from Salah last week.
yeah.
I think he's Superman. I just think his left side's a small bit weak, you know.
Yeah, you could see he was frustrated, wasn't he? He was just that results. It still leaves us top. With a game played over City, but it'd be 2 games played over them because City are in the FA Cup this weekend. 23 points, 5 draws, 3 defeats, 74 scored and 31 against, 74 points. The goal difference is +7 in favour of City. But they were always on it. Weren't they? They just go and batter teams out, don't they? You seem to, when they get to this stage of the season, they just enter another gear. But we're still there, and we're still in with a fighting chance. So that's all you ask for. We move on to the game, the preview of the game on Friday night against Southampton. 8 o'clock. This one. Eamonn missed out. He was saying before we came on, it was down for Saturday. And now it's he's been unfortunate with a couple of games. He was saying Chelsea as well, and then
I'm having to look at Basil Fawlty with Arsenal.
And well, in the sky.
No, I was due to go to it, and then I had to speak at a conference the next day, so I had to novel that. I had the Chelsea game booked, Craig. Yeah, great, all good stuff. But I can't go on the Tuesday, so I lost my flights. And I've the Brighton game booked, which I'm going to. But then I see today that my NCT for the car is 07:15 the following morning, so I've got to get the late flight home. So it's not going great at the moment, you know. Yeah,
it's tough following the Arsenal name, isn't it? It really
for anybody who I don't know whether the likes of Craig and Lotttie, whether the Pink Panther cartoon ever featured in your life, but I'm like the Pink Panther walking around with a swarm of bees over his head.
Yeah,
and everywhere I go.
Yeah, I was done over for the Brighton game as well.
You're going over for the Brighton game, yeah?
No, sorry, not the Brighton game, Southampton game. I originally banked when I was getting through against Lisbon, so I jumped the gun and booked Sunday flights. Now I'm going over. I had to change my flight to the Friday, so it was more money.
But you're taking my ticket for the Chelsea game, isn't that right? Yeah. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that again.
Yeah. No problem, Craig. Anything for the Arsenal?
My next question is: are you getting to the semi-final on the Monday, day before, for the girls?
Is that on the Monday? Is it?
That's on the Monday. Yep. Tickets are almost sold out. Get one if you come in. It's only £9.
Yeah, geez, that would actually
semi-final Wolfsburg.
Is that's in the Emirates as well, is it?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Almost sold out. So
you're under pressure now, Craig.
You're having a meltdown now.
Pressure for Forest.
You must sit upstairs though.
God, he won't be home with all at this age.
You can actually have 2 meltdowns.
That's it, yeah.
If you're on Martin Stumble, are you listening?
You have to get Eamonn to have a meltdown with me.
Are meltdowns gender based or what? Like you
just have to follow the Arsenal for that aim.
I think I am due a meltdown with the Arsenal women, and I think it's going to be this semi-final. So, or the Man United game tomorrow. One of the two. It's on its way. Say it that way.
Meltdown Central. Every April we get like this, yeah.
Yeah. Much.
Long may you continue and let the alcohol flow.
Normally the meltdowns because they're finishing fucking 5th or 6th. You know.
This is a new type of meltdown, Craig.
Yeah,
we're top of the table and we're done with it.
Could be double meltdowns for me because we're still in the title race for the WSL as well. It's a 4-way race at the minute. Nightmare.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? It really is.
It's the first time ever. It's a nightmare. I can't have Man United take it. We'll never live it down.
Lottie, sorry, a quick question for Lottie. Do you think Arsenal will sign Russo?
Well, put it this way: she moved out from the living arrangements with her Toon. So she's on her way. I don't care what anyone says. She's on her way. I'd love to have her. Sorry, Craig. Say that again.
Hopefully she's coming to us and not Chelsea.
She's not going to Chelsea. She's not. The thing is, like, she's not going to get any minutes with Sam Kerr around. It's just not going to happen.
No.
Absolutely not going to happen.
Yeah.
The great signing, I must say.
Yeah, quality player, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Arteta sign her up for the end of the season. She can play in both teams.
Do you know what? I'd rather have Katie McCabe down on that left back, or even up front in Martinelli's boots.
Yeah,
Chop her hair. She'd run rings around everybody.
Yeah. Quality, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. The game on Friday night, lads, is of course against Southampton. Last time we played it was in October, 1-1. Granit Xhaka scored a screamer that day. Actually, Bazunu had a good game. He kept Saints in it for a large parts, and Stuart Armstrong scored for Southampton. The last time we played at home against the Saints was 3-0 in December 2021. Lacazette scored that goal, which won goal of the month, I think, for December. Quality move back to front, and Odegaard and Gabriel got the other two. As it stands, Southampton are fighting for their lives. 23 points, bottom of the table. Probably will go down. It's a young team. They signed young, inexperienced players, really. But you never know what type of game you get. You know, when these teams are fighting for their lives, you have to respect each opponent. And after the last two results we've had, I can only see that we beat them 2-0. I'll go with 2-0 just to be, on the safe side. Walcott's there as well. So it's always our luck that the next player comes back to Hondas as well. Batnerick scored, didn't he, this time last year away to win 1-0. Yeah, I don't want to make a donation in the Dublin Arsenal kitty, but I'll go with a 2-0 win. I'll go to you, Eamon. How do you see the game on Friday night?
Well, okay, first of all, I really like Southampton as a club. I think they do their stuff in the right way. The players that they've blooded over the years, and I think they will go down. I think they're a beaten docket, but the club is able to absorb that because of the structures they have.
Yeah,
and they've had in the 50 years I've been watching football, they've probably been in the top flight for about 35 of them.
Yeah,
and but they're capable of doing that. So, I don't want to see them go down, but they're going to go down. They're a beaten docket, right?
yeah,
And I think they might know that themselves.
yeah,
Right? And on that basis, knowing what we have to do, there's no semi-finals if we don't muller Southampton on Friday.
Yeah.
Knowing what we have to do, I expect us to score 4 goals. We do. No, I do. And I'm normally... Like I'm normally every silver lining has a cloud, But what I'm saying to you is that Southampton can't do that. Come up and park the bus. They just can't do it.
yeah.
They're not that type of team. They can hurt you. I mean, when they played Man City, they were beat 4-1, but they could have scored 3 or 4 that night. They could have conceded 6. So I expect us to get real. After yesterday's second half, after the first 30 minutes, I expect us to get real about ourselves and to really put on something that's going to set us up to go to the Etihad for a big showdown. And on that basis, I mean, if we can beat Palace 4-1 at home, and if we can beat Leeds 4-1 at home, I certainly think we can beat Southampton 4-1 at home. So that's my view,
Right. That's that. Eamon's nailed it there, so we'll probably lose 2-1. Craig, how do you see the game going?
Yeah.
He's not looking convincing here, lads.
No.
He doesn't sound very confident either.
He doesn't know. He's got a meltdown here.
I'm going to the game, so I'm hoping for a big win. I know I'll be over there, so I'm hoping for a big win.
Yeah.
Like, look. My head is saying we're going to win probably 4-0, but my heart's probably saying we're probably going to I'd say we might beat them 2-1. I know it's probably two completely different results I'm predicting there, but Southampton are a bit of a bogey team for us. We drew 1-0 with them in St Mary's, which looking back now, it's a poor result. over the years, the Emirates, you know, they've ground out a few draws against us, and you know, I know it was probably under Pochettino and they, you know, a very good side then. So look, I think we have to beat them. You know, like as Eamonn said, if you don't win on Friday, you may forget about next week. Because if we thought yesterday there was a meltdown, if we don't win Friday, there'll be a total meltdown.
I think it won't be seen.
I'm going to have to move the WhatsApp group for that.
Craig, what I need to do is mold your meltdown into disappointment. Okay? I can tell all the listeners and viewers, I actually don't support Arsenal. I worry about them. It's different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I lose sleep over the Arsenal. You know.
Yeah, I agree. No, like look, Southampton, as Eamonn touched on, they probably know they're going to go down. They have a very young side. They have a new manager. I think it's Ruben Selles. You know, it looks like he'd probably be with them there next year. I'm not sure if they'll keep him next year or not. I think last year in the summer they went very young with the team they went with, and probably too young. I think they definitely needed 4 or 5 kind of experienced players there that were going to, you know, keep them up. And look, I think they are probably gone down at this stage. Prediction wise, look, I'll go 4-0 because you know we have to win this game. Hopefully the players are hurting from the last 2 results, and we need to get the goal difference up. So yeah, I'll go 4-0. But then look, we could easily, you know, it could easily be 2-1, 3-2, because you know the last 2 games we've thrown 2 goals away, two goals that we've been up away, and you know all the games from here on in are probably going to be cagey, regardless of who we're playing.
Yeah, it's nearly a few weeks ahead, lads. Yeah. Lottie, how do you see the game going Friday yourself? Do you think we'll go for the juggler and get the goal difference down?
Yeah, I think we should do. I mean, Southampton have let in 29 goals this season, but they're, again, as the boys said, they're a really young team. So I'm going to go 3-1 to the Arsenal. And Saka to come back and score. I'm going to add that in there as well. He's due a goal. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's a very convincing scoreline there, Lottie.
But also remember, Jonathan, it's a Friday night game.
Yeah.
And the home atmosphere on a Friday night.
That's electric, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. I've been at 2. I've been at one where we beat Leicester 4-3.
I was at that one. It was cracking.
Giroud in the last, you know, Lacazette's first goal for the Arsenal.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah.
And then we beat Villa there just not long after COVID on a Friday night, and the atmosphere was just unbelievable. So I think
was that the game that Eamonn Martinez ended up crying?
Sorry,
it was.
Yeah, was it the game that Eamonn Martinez ended up crying?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. I was in Westham. I did perfect viewing, bawling his eyes out. Perfect. It's one of the best games I went to all season. But
just touching on that, what Eamonn said here, Johnny. Like, it wouldn't be great, you know, if obviously with the last 2 results being disappointing, it'd be great if the team did go on. You know, I don't want to jump the gun here. You know, if they won 5 or 6-0, or you know, scored 5 or 6 kind of goals in this game, which I think they're definitely capable of. You know, to get the goal difference down, because I think we're 7 behind now.
Yeah, we are.
The goal difference, but you know, if we got the goal difference up, it's nearly worth an extra point to you. You know.
Yeah, big time. Going to the Etihad then the following Wednesday.
I would ignore that. I think we can get a lot of goals, Craig, but I think with City's fixtures, they're going to steamroll teams more than we are. So I don't think that's going to be an issue at the end of the season. You know. Yeah.
I just hope that they keep as many fixtures as possible and stay in the Champions League and then lose it. That is my dream.
I know we're probably going to predict the City game next week, but do we take a draw now next week, or
next week
against City?
Would you take a draw?
Yeah.
Take both your arms off for a draw.
No, some people think we need to win. Do you know?
I don't think we need to win. I just think we need to stop them winning, and then you're into a 5-horse shoe race with a lot of confidence, having gone up there and done that. I think we'd have every chance. With them stuck in the European Champions League semi-final, I'd well take that. I'd well take that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we?
Yeah. I
Friday first.
Yeah, I think City still their main aim is the Champions League, you know. But I said, yeah, the Premier League still the bread and butter for them as well, isn't it? Like they've come back strong at us from nowhere. We're 8 points clear twice, weren't we? Was it 4 now? So look, take each game as it comes. You know, that's all we can do. You know, we've had a great season so far, and Arteta has to be in contention for manager of the season. Big name manager at last. I'd just like to say as well, the Arsenal.com goal of the month for March went to Reece Nelson last week. Absolute cracker. So I think, hands down, that was the best goal of the month. And it's having more, it looks like it's going to be even more important, that winner, as the season goes on, yeah.
That was the most stressful game I've ever watched.
You and me, bro.
I want to forget because the level of stress I was going through during that game.
I said on the show a few weeks ago, Lottie, that when the goal went in, I did about, you know, I did the moonwalk sideways. I think James Brown called it the camel walk, and then I thought, VAR.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fucking VAR. Yeah. But imagine if we and here's the Grim Reaper here now. Like every silver line has a cloud, right?
yeah.
Imagine if we lose the title over that decision against Brentford.
Oh, jeez.
Just now, there's something for you and Ian Gunnery to chat about, young Smith. Oh my God, yeah.
Look, his head is a mess, Eamon. Let the man clear his head. Ivan, Tony, are you listening? You've destroyed this young man's life.
We leave Ian off. He supports Arsenal and Shelbourne, so
yeah,
Shelbourne supports Arsenal.
He's had a horrific life, and he's only in his early 20s. Also, just as I said at the start of the show, I'd like to mention that we stuck it in our WhatsApp group, Stummo. The old official clock hand coin by Zenit Coins. Use the code, discount code HS15. It works out as about, I think it was €28 or something. I bought one there on Saturday, but it's definitely well worth. You know, it's a nice collector's item. And also, my brother sent it to me. Actually, Royal Arsenal's original ground, the Invicta ground, it was called. It's on Lost_Stadiums on Twitter, and it's we played there from 1890 to 1893, but it still has some of the terrace in someone's back garden, the actual seas, you know. So he sent it to me there. It's worth having a look. I think I stuck it in the group as well to use. It's just a fantastic piece of history in someone's back garden, you know. I'm sure he probably just looked at such days, you know, but it's nice to see that there's still people putting things up like that, you know. It's actually a good Twitter page as well. Lost Stadiums of yesteryear just gone into ruin, yeah. It's been a good show, lads. Anything else you'd like to mention on tickets or anything Arsenal wise or anything?
Don't mention tickets at all.
Yeah, no, let's just not go there. Let's just not even mention
Lottie
tickets.
has a load of tickets she wants to sell off, she told me.
You're hilarious. My last game of the season is Leicester on the 5th of May. And it's normal football for me. Well, technically I could go. I'm going to the academy games for free, so I can't really complain. But they finish on the 6th of May, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of May at this point.
Yeah, you never know what might come up if we're out of the title race. A load of tickets will be fucked at the door, yeah. Anything else, Eamon or Craig, you like mentions?
No, happy enough.
We're all good.
Yeah, I'd just like to say before we wrap up, lads, catch our show as always on YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Check out Beyond the Last Man with Stummo. Balon Sports Direct, thanks for being our sponsor for the last while. And JoeSarcel.com, check them out, Pat McLaughlin and Co. Thanks to Lottie. Thanks for coming on. Craig, as always, pleasure.
Thanks.
And Eamon. Eamon's going to sing us out as always. Take it away, Eamon.
Well, now, you see, if I'm on the show again, I'm actually going to do it with my guitar.
Okay, yeah. Super.
Yeah. But we might as well go for it.
Here we go.
I want some help here. We won the league at Anfield. We won it
at the Lane.
Stamford Bridge, Old Trafford. No one can say the same. Mikel Arteta's army. For Arsenal true. We sing it on the North Bank. And in the clock too. Ale, ale, ale. Ale, ale, ale. There we go.
I tell you,
Well
lads.
done, Eamon.
Britain's Got Talent, you watch out. We're nearly there.
Sign him up,
Thanks-
Simon. Now, sign him up.
before we all go into meltdown before May the 28th. Thanks, lads, for being part of the show this week. We'll be back next Monday, the 24th, where we'll review Southampton, and then we'll have another show on Thursday for a special for hopefully all things going well in Manchester City. So until then, have a great week, lads, and thanks for joining me.
And thank you. And just one thing before we finish. Remember with that sing song, 2 tickets to see me are a tenner, but 6, you can get 6 for a fiver. Okay.
Hey, lads.
And a free can of Berta Moretti on entrance.
Okay, lads.
Cheers, lads.